usual, you know how we do it. My first question to you is, how are you? How body day? Hope body day can't pay. Hope body and soul is together. I beg, that's the important thing. We don't enter November. Today is the 10th of November 2024. I beg, make una calm down. Now I go use God beg you. I dey beg now because Koizi gong. Hey. Koizi. So what do you see for markets? The small money where you get, whatever it is where you feel afford, just afford. JJ, carry and go your house. Don't give yourself high BP. Because as matter take B now, it go be. It go be. So I beg you, make una take am easy. Once again, welcome to the Political Spotlight on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. Good evening once again and welcome. You know how we do it on the Political Spotlight? We actually talk about intricate issues across Nigeria's political landscape. And obviously, we have analysts sometimes live here in the studio. Sometimes they join us virtually. They get to give us insight and their own perspective into some of these conversations that actually hold sway here. Now, we not only just look at possibly trending issues that took place in the political scene, but obviously we actually take a look behind what we just read out or what the news tells us. We go deeply into these issues and get the news behind the news, the conspiracy theories involved, a different angle to logically think through these issues, because you cannot, when it comes to politics, especially in this part of the world, it's peculiar, it's unique. It affects our day-to-day activities, okay? So we try to balance all angles involved and give you a factual report of what actually takes place in Nigeria's polity and even internationally, especially if they affect what we do here. So once again, welcome to the program. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. You can follow us on YouTube at VOP903 FM because we're currently streaming live now. So if you want to virtually be part of the conversation and, follow us virtually, I would implore you to subscribe and actually watch us live. You can follow me on YouTube too, my personal YouTube channel at Estiq Media. That's ESTIQ MEDIA. ESTIQ MEDIA. There's quite a lot of content in there that would actually, give you that intellectual buzz. Yes, basically that's what it is. And obviously my social media handles too. On Facebook is at Esther Nwachukwu. On Instagram is Esther Unwaz. That's ESTANWAZ. And on X is at Esther Nwachukwu. So that's basically where you can follow me and follow up with the conversations that we have here. So interestingly, quite a lot has actually transpired in the Nigeria's political scene. But let's actually talk about the case of security, because it's quite unfortunate that we're not done with one yet, and we're hearing of another one that has emerged. They have not only emerged, they have actually murdered about more than 15 people, in a community in Kebbi, and apparently there may be more. Now we got reports that this group, they're called Lakurawas. Now they, based on what the chief of defense headquarters disclosed to us last week, they said these individuals are coming from Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and that they were able to set up because Nigeria had a rift with Niger. So when that relationship was broken, there was combined synergy with Nigerian security and that of Niger Republic. So when that rift occurred, that was what caused the porosity. That vacuum was there, and that is how most of these individuals left that terrain and entered into Nigeria, and they formed. Now we also heard that in their communities, now in fact there's actually a video to it. I'm going to be sending that video to the YouTube streamer so that you can actually understand what I'm talking about. They sat down, they're recruiting young persons into the group. It's quite it's unfortunate. They were even offering them about 1 million naira for them to join. Now, they already know the vulnerabilities that a lot of Nigerians are going through, the hunger, the insecurity. So they are telling them that they will provide them security. They're also telling them that they will provide them with their basic needs to survive on a daily. And that's one of the attractive, insights they provided for them. They also told them that Western education is not it. Democracy is not it. So they should do away with Western education and democracy. That after all, what has it yielded them? Now, the thing is, according to what a couple of the community members actually said, that they had already disclosed to this Nigerian military that these individuals had already entered their community. The community members did not really know what they were all about because they thought they were just peaceful persons seeking refuge until they began to tax them. They saw them with arms and weaponry and all whatnot, and that the Nigerian military was already on the know about it, possibly 4 or 5 months before now. But obviously, maybe they didn't understand the intricacy or the importance of it. They didn't take it serious. And right now, they're now trying to act on it. They began to kill people. The ideology that Boko Haram has is basically the ideology they are operating on. While the acting chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has called on the people of Sokoto state to lend their support to ongoing military operations, which is aimed at securing the region from the foreign armed group known locally as Lakurawa. This was during an operational visit to the state. General Oluyede stated that his mission was to assess the readiness of troops stationed in the area and motivate them to continue their efforts in safeguarding the nation. The army chief, who taught Tangaza local government area, a known flashpoint for Lakurawa activities, also engaged with local community leaders, including council chairman Alhaji Isa Salihu Kalenjeni, seeking their collaboration. A lot of Nigerians have actually reacted to the situation. They say that what would give these individuals the effrontery to come and set up base here? Maybe there are some persons who are actually giving these guys the audacity and the authority to think that Nigeria is a fertile ground. Others said they should go and try it in neighboring Ghana and see if it is possible. And somebody said, is Ghana fertile? I don't understand what they mean by that kind of statement. But they were, they all went about the fact that these people have realized that kidnapping, banditry, collecting ransom has become the order of the day. It's a thriving business in this part of the world. And that's what, these guys are holding on to. But the big question for me is, how come, where did they get their finances from? Because when they were trying to seduce these young persons to join their group, they were offering them 1 million naira. And you need to see the sophisticated weapons they were holding. They sat down and the people were asking, I thought we had some, sophisticated gadgets like aerial, whatever, all those drones. How come they couldn't know where these guys are and eradicate them, clear them off? They've been in those communities, settled there, set up base. They now roam about. They are taxing, they are imposing taxes and levies on the community members, and the community members are begging. I remember when this thing came about the first time, one of the councillors actually raised an alarm. He said that this is a very serious situation, that the Nigerian military needs to do something as soon as possible, because they're not done with Boko Haram. How do they start dealing with this particular group? They don't think it is funny, and that the government should do something as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will not be good at all. This headsman brought deadly Lakurawa terror group to Sokoto, and they're already extending their tentacles, putting themselves in other places, taking over communities. In fact, it's not a funny scenario. And people are now trying to ethnicize the whole situation, something that affects everybody. You're making it something that has to do with tribe or ethnicity. Why would you do so? What is the significance for doing so? So that's basically one of the situations that, we experienced in the course of the week. I do hope that the Nigerian military does the needful in that regard. We don't want conspiracy theories. You've already admitted about this group that they're already here. We've seen their videos. Like I said, I do hope that the person helping us to stream can actually put up that video, so you see how they sat down together and stimulating and motivating those people to join their group. Now, there's also another situation that has evolved. I'm sure you know that President-elect Donald Trump eventually has won the current recently concluded American elections, and quite a lot has actually evolved since that time. Susie Wiles was recently appointed the chief of staff by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump. She previously co-chaired a lobbying firm that collaborated extensively with the indigenous people of Biafra in 2019. And this is according to available report. In fact, you can check it out on Platinum Post. Now, okay, so here is what happened. Apparently, she has kind of helped a couple of people to achieve political victories. For example, following a major election victory over Vice President Kamala Harris, Trump selected his campaign manager, Susie Wiles, to take on the role of chief of staff. Wiles' appointment makes her the first woman to hold this position. others say Susie is tough, she's smart, she's innovative, and universally admired and respected. Susie will continue to work to make America great again. That's what Donald Trump has actually said. Now, her professional background includes working as a lobbyist for various clients. She obviously has a firm and she lobbies for various clients. Until earlier this year, Susie Wiles, who is President-elect Chief of Staff, represented Swisher International, a tobacco company advocating for its interest in Congress on FDA regulations. Now, according to filings with the Senate, she currently co-chairs Mercury Public Affairs, a role she has held since February 2022, and previously worked with Ballard Partners, a lobbying firm founded by Trump's ally Brian Ballard. Now, her lobbying portfolio includes companies which, of course, were named here Alliance Resource Partners and all of that stuff. Further investigation revealed that IPOB contracted Wiles' former firm in 2019 to lobby the United States Congress and State Department, focusing on promotion of human rights and democracy in Nigeria. Now, according to the report from foreignlobby.com, Mercury Public Affairs had an $85,000 monthly contract with IPOB, although disclosures filed with the U.S. Department of Justice indicated it was $254,000 in total payments for the previous year. So here is how things got quite interesting. Trump's election has reportedly fueled optimism within pro-Biafran circles for an independent Biafran nation. Following his victory, celebratory messages circulated within the Biafran advocacy groups. President Donald Trump's victory, a couple of Biafrans say, is an inspiration all over the world. And in response to that, as usual, a lot of the Biafrans have been extending their congratulatory messages to Trump with the hope that the Biafran agitation or the agenda, which is to become self-independent, will be promoted by Trump, considering the fact that Susie Wiles, allegedly had been one person who was lobbying for IPOB and she was, giving some amount of money. But the question is, how realistic will this be? There's a lot right now for the United States to focus on. So will Susie Wiles lobby for IPOB in any way? Wouldn't there be other issues that she wants to attend to? Because right now, Donald Trump's policy is the fact that there'll be no room for drug cartels, immigration. He will have to seek to ensure that the Russia-Ukraine war, that one no longer continues, or see how they can come to an impasse. The same thing with Israel and Palestine. These are pressing issues, all right? He also talked about the fact that drug lords and cybercrime, all of that will not be permitted within his administration. So how will the agenda, or how will the motivation from Biafra towards Susie Wiles, how will it be? How will it go? How would it be taken as something that could be considered a priority within the camp? And then if at all Trump is eventually inaugurated, how will that be one possible angle or measure for the Biafran country to be established? The idea is to actually include a sort of referendum in the constitution. If that is not there, then how will that dream be realized for the Biafrans? How will that motive be actualized? So that's a big question. And in what way will Trump's impute facilitate or accelerate the process? That's another way to look at it, because right now, even if Susie Wiles was lobbying for IPOB way back in 2019, it didn't get anywhere, it didn't get any headway, all right? We didn't see any realistic result to that effect. So now that Trump is officially declared, or officially the American president, how do we know that that will be one of the agenda that his administration will focus on when there are a lot of other pressing issues? And in what way will this dream be realized? For example, the talk about this has been ongoing for so long. How will the Nigerian government react to it? Will they not try to balkanize the process, considering the fact that the last time that particular situation was presented at UNGER, it was cancelled because the Nigerian government actually wrote to the UN General Assembly. So there's quite a lot to consider in that regard, and I don't know how this is going to take place, but it is no longer funny as to how things have been going on, especially in that part of the country. I'm sure you know about the bomb explosion that took place just 2 or 3 days ago in Imo State. The Nigerian police had actually attributed it. They actually called those. They said that the persons who put those bomb explosion, that's the IED, they actually wanted to, what do you call it? implode the area, all right? But unfortunately, maybe they were trying to set it up or something and the thing just took off. So those individuals who wanted to cause mayhem were the ones that actually got affected by it. And in reaction to that, civil rights advocacy group Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HURIWA, has condemned the unprecedented killings of Imo State residents, which the group said has become widespread and bloodied due to a failure of political leadership and the refusal of Imo State and President Bola Tinubu to explore alternative peaceful methods through which a non-kinetic methodology of conflict resolution. Also, the deadly bomb explosion at the Olu International Market on Tuesday, that was last week's Tuesday, which killed scores of people, injured others, have been described by HURIWA as the clearest evidence that Imo State has sadly become the killing field of southeast of Nigeria. Now, in a statement by its national coordinator, Emmanuel Onwubiko, on Wednesday, they called for a comprehensive, peaceful negotiation and an end to the systematic killings of citizens by both armed non-state and armed state actors. And this is where the governor of the state comes in, Hope Uzodimma. What are you doing about the situation in the southeast, specifically in Imo State? That's your region. Why will you continue to have this consistent killings, will I say, between the Nigerian military there and some supposed unknown gunmen? Sometimes you tag the perpetrators, you tag it to be ESN members or IPOB members without following due process to investigate if indeed they are the members exacerbating or causing the mayhem in that region. And it now feels like you don't know what to do. The southeast is not that big, so why can't the governor of the state do something about curbing the insecurity there? Why are you not doing something about it? Because others feel that the governor has a hand in it. Some people say it's just a political maneuver to the detriment of a lot of people residing there. A lot of young persons have left the southeast. No more seeing young, avid, agile young men in Imo State. A lot of them have migrated to other urban centers. Most of them are in Lagos, Abia, and other states because they no longer feel safe in their state, in their region. So what is the state governor doing about it to ensure that we don't continue to go through this process in that area? Economic activities have been stifled. Investors are not going to that region. Infrastructure development is not taking place. Education is at the back seat. A lot of things that needs to be done in that region is not being done. And so if you don't curb security, which is one of the important things for any community or state to thrive, then how do you intend to attract investment? How do you intend to generate income within your state? That's a very big question, and it's quite important for the state governor to do something about it. I don't know what he has been doing, what measure he has been putting in place with the federal government to ensure that things are resolved and things become calm. Others have advocated that why don't you look for a way that Nnamdi Kanu will be released? Maybe once that happens, they will not continue to see what is going on in that particular region. So yes, that's basically one of the major conversations that we'll be looking into this evening. My analyst is already here in the studio. I'll be introducing him very soon. Also, it's quite interesting to see how Nigerians reacted to Trump's win. Now, you know how Harris was celebrated. You saw how her campaign train was. She had almost all the top A-list celebrities pioneering, angling for her, throwing their support for her, amassing a lot of crowd to support her. And it shocked everyone to see the fact that Trump actually led, not just by popular votes, even the college votes, the electoral votes. So, for various personal reasons, many Nigerians became actively engaged in the recently concluded 2024 United States presidential election. They passionately campaigned for their preferred candidates, particularly Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Now, as the election progressed, Nigerians on social media, they had a full day. So, for example, Deji Adeyoju, you know him, he's an activist, right? He's also a lawyer. He said, be like say Mark Yakub go help Kamala Harris, so make he help call her, tell her say now you don't win. Make Trump and people go court. That was what a lot of Nigerians were positing to that. And they made some contrast to how Nigerian elections hold and the way the elections in the United States of America went. And they threw jabs at, electoral institution for being what it is and how it has actually failed to represent the true states of the Nigerian mandate. So, as it became apparent that Trump was poised to win, some social media users humorously called an INEC chairman to intervene and stop Trump's victory. victory, even suggesting that only the INEC chairman could save Kamala Harris. Posts like, now only this INEC man fit help Kamala Harris right now began trending, and the jokes continued even after the election, with people sharing doctored photos of the two main candidates changing the election results to favor Harris. One viral post altered Harris's score from 224 to 280, reduced Trump's vote from 267 to 100, accompanied by the captions "Go to court" and "Breaking news: INEC declares Kamala Harris winner." It's humorous, right? And Nigerians know how to actually have fun in certain pressing situations. But what does that tell you? The irony in the whole thing, or in the sarcasm, what does that tell you? Positing, doing a comparison between INEC as an electoral institution right here in Nigeria, and of course how the elections in the United States went. It was obviously a mocking angle on the institution as to the fact that they consider them corrupt, they don't consider them transparent, they don't consider them objective. Electoral Act and a lot that needs to be done in there, and from elections that have been taking place from time immemorial in this part of the world, has always been go to court and defend your mandate, go to court. But obviously, if all the institutions that determines, the actuality is already been hoodwinked, how do you now go to court when it's obvious that the result has already been decided by those that matter, or those that are actually in charge? So that's basically what a lot of situation actually turned up, and how Nigerians are able to take the jab and joke around it. But hey, it's a lot, like I said, that has actually transpired in Nigeria's political landscape, and a couple of people feel that if things are not done the right way, Nigerians will continue to suffer and things will continue to backtrack. Okay, so heading to Rivers State, Governor Sim Fubara has described the recent political crisis in the state as divinely orchestrated, which is aimed at facilitating political freedom and economic growth. He made the assertion during a Thanksgiving service held in honor of His Royal Majesty Eze Woluwodo, who was recently appointed as a chairman of the Rivers State Traditional Rulers Council. The service took place at the Shepherd's Hill Parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, and of course, on Sunday, which is today. During the event, of course, Fulbara had copies of the Holy Bible, which he presented to a couple of people there. He highlighted that despite the challenges faced by his administration, which many thought would be insurmountable, the government has emerged stronger and more focused. He attributed his resilience to divine intervention. And then finally, another thing I want us to also look into is the fact that an Israeli security expert has told us that Iran is the person causing the insecurity in Nigeria, that their plan is to destabilize Nigeria. And he spoke from a place of certainty, like there's some information that he's privy to that we do not know. The Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, has accused Iran of orchestrating attempts to destabilize the West African region with a specific focus on Nigeria. His comments came during a presentation in Abuja, which marks the first anniversary of October 7th, 2023 massacre of Israelis by Hamas. Freeman also highlighted concerns over escalating insecurity in Nigeria, alleging that Iran's influence extends beyond the Middle East and into Africa's most populous nation. According to the ambassador, he says that there are deliberate efforts by Iran to incite instability, posing a growing threat to regional security. The Israeli government's confidence in receiving robust support from the US has been bolstered by the election of Donald Trump as the 47th president. Now, Freeman concluded by expressing his gratitude to Israel's allies, particularly the United States. But sources from Israel have reportedly named somebody as one who is also promoting that, trajectory for Iran. Now, I don't know how true this is, and I'm expecting this person to renounce or speak on this. Now, in a related development, sources from Israel have reportedly named Femi Fani-Kayode, Nigeria's former Minister of Aviation, as one of the individuals allegedly collaborating with Iranian interest and groups like Hamas in Nigeria. Probably because Fani Kayode's post recently on X have included statements perceived as supportive of Hezbollah and Hamas while also criticizing Israel. The fact that he comes on X to express himself or give his opinion about pressing issues across the globe doesn't mean that he's one of the persons inciting to destabilize Nigeria. Doesn't mean he has any relationship to do with Iran having to mobilize or whatever and, infuse themselves into Nigeria to destabilize. What does Iran intend to gain out of this? I'm expecting Fani Kaide to come out to react to this. The fact that somebody was very open with his interest on X, does that mean that he's part of something sinister? It would actually be wrong. It would be bad if that's the truth. But hey, the fact that he has expressed himself, does it actually validate what this particular report is saying? That he's one of the persons that, is grooming to cause instability in Nigeria, backing up in support with Iran? That's a big question, and I hope that something is done about it as soon as possible. If investigations need to take place, investigations should commence. Fani Kaide himself should actually react to this report, because I find it astounding that you, that is an advocate for the peace, economic stability of your country, will be somebody that will be involved in something like this. I don't believe it, and I expect him to react to this as soon as possible. So let me introduce my guest right now in the studio, and that's a person of Mr. Elvis Elimehele, who is a political, national, and social affairs commentator, a journalist of over 3 decades. Mr. Elvis Elimehele, thank you, and thank you for joining me this evening on the Political Spotlight.
Good evening, Esther.
How are you?
I'm good. Good evening, our esteemed listeners. We are back to this desk again.
I was expecting Mr. Elvis last week, because last week was his birthday.
Yes.
I wanted him to be here. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it.
Yes.
Mr. Elvis, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday.
God bless you.
God bless you and reach you.
Week.
Yes, it's a loaded week.
My wife's own is tomorrow.
Back to back, when they follow each other.
Yes,
that's amazing.
So,
happy birthday to her in advance. Mr. Elvis, a lot is transpiring in Nigeria's political landscape. Why do you think that Nigerians went full on, in participating or following up with the American election? And then when everyone thought, because of the kind of support and campaign and A-listers that were backing up Kamala Harris, people thought that she would actually win. But things, turned upside down, well, for the Kamala Harris team. And, people are saying, make INEC go declare her president. So make Trump go court. That kind of thing. What's your take on that?
They should have told us that there was a glitch somewhere. Esther, you see, my people say, make a parable that the woman who lost children at childbirth, serially, maybe 1 or 2, when he eventually has one that stays, how he will, worship that one that, decide to stay. That's what we are seeing. You know what we've just went through in 2023 general election in this nation, and it's still biting us. It's biting us. That's what we are facing, generally now.
Sure.
And when we now hear of another country that have just done an election, there was no ballot snatching, there was no shooting of gun anywhere, killing, and the electoral umpire did not come to give a contrary report about the election, deviating from the normal electoral law that exists in that country. You know what it means to us. That's why we're saying, and Nigerians were like, oh, this is the first time America is going to have a female president, because she really did her best. You can't take that one out of it.
But I think they had issues with her campaign policies.
No, there are so many issues in America. One of the latest one is just this Israel and Gaza and whatever, Palestine and all that, and even the Lebanon that just came into. Then that's one. Then the Ukraine, Russia is still also going on there. The abortion and all that. They have so many issues. And Esther, come to think of it, most of these issues that we are talking about, they are not really talking about the economy per se. They are talking about other person's headache. How it's going to affect America, and how America is going to take decision out of it. But look at what we are talking about here. We are talking about how we can even get a good road to move on. Did you hear anybody say I will tie road throughout the campaign? It's no longer part of it. Did you hear anybody talking about I'm going to build schools, I'm going to build hospitals? These are already things that are already in existence. What they just need over there is to maintain these things and come up with better policies for Americans to benefit from it as is expected. But somebody will be talking of 2-kilometer rule, and we invite the whole community and bring in all the press in Nigeria and all the billboard, to even groundbreaking ceremony and before commissioning. So these are just issues that that made Nigerians to be too interested in America election. And we also say we borrow this democracy from them. They are like our landlord in this democracy, and everything we practice in Nigeria, we always use America as our yardstick to say, okay, this is what is obtainable there. So it was good that we followed it, and it was also good we have to let INEC know. I haven't learned that INEC also sent representative to be part of the observers of the election. Unfortunately, they will not come with the good things over there. They won't come with the good things. It's the other way around. So it's so unfortunate that when we spend our money to send people on this kind of trip, when they come back, they cannot come and tell the electoral body or whichever agency, this is the truth we experienced over there, and let us even see how we can begin to make amends. Also, Nigeria could also be counted among the countries that had elections or that without issues. Look at even Botswana. Botswana just had election a week ago.
Yes, also, we saw that.
You saw what
that
happened.
Generated quite a conversation as well.
A 58 years old political party that have been in power since independence lost the election, and even before the final result could come in, the president Mysis has already called Boko, the young man that just won under the UDP, that congratulations, my people have chosen your party this time around. And these are things that we should be talking about. Wow. There was nothing like go to court. There was nothing like bleach. There was nothing like snatching of ballot paper. There was nothing like if you are not voting for a social political party, leave the queue. Yes. That we are going to stab you. No, nothing like that. So if Botswana can get it right, Botswana is just an African country here again. We are not talking about the US now. Why is Nigeria that so pride themselves as what they call themselves now, the leader of Africa? Well, no,
I don't think it is that anymore.
No, I mean, we've lost it in all ramifications. That's just it. But why can't we also get it right? At least in one, just a state election. You saw all that came up, all the shenanigans that came up. Now, okay, it's a busy week, Esther. On Tuesday, a new governor will the throne of leadership in Edo State.
Yes.
Yeah, so Senator Monday Okpebholo, even though the case is in the court.
Yes.
But are these things that we are going to, emulate? Is this how we are going to go? Is this how the democracy is going to go?
For that to be properly investigated.
Yes.
We heard quite a lot of things. In fact, just last week, we had an expose as to the fact that they said they got somebody who is like an expert who checked some of the results and saw that the results came from one person.
Yes.
Results
the
were
signatures.
The signatures tallied that it was the same.
Yeah.
And they were asking that you cannot inaugurate this man with all of these inconsistencies.
No. Esther, let inauguration go on because there should be no vacuum in governance. You understand? But this is where everybody is now looking onto the judiciary again.
Okay.
This was how it was in 2020 general election. After they told us go to court, everybody was like, okay, they are going to court and we're going to have, see how the court is going to come up with all the laws, all the shenanigans that transpired in the election. Now we are looking at, like I said here, I think I said it in this studio, that the first litmus test for the new CJN, Justice Kekereekun, is this Edo State election. You understand? So let us not deviate, Esther. But what we are trying to say is that with all these ones now that has happened, Edo State is in the court.
Yeah.
PDP is in the court. Let's see how the judiciary is going to play its role again, because it was obvious what we saw. But along the line, are we going to get justice? Is this how we are going to be leaving the people who voted? And now only about 3 or 4 judges to sit down and say this is the right person. That's not democracy any longer.
Obviously,
people came out and vote and defile all the activities for that day. In this part of the world, election the whole day is shut down. We didn't see that in the US. Everybody still go over their normal duties while voting was going on. But here it's shut down. Then at the end of the day, people come out to vote. Only at the end, you say go to court. Only about 4 or 5 judges will now be the people that will now say this is the right person. When we are told that democracy has to do with majority, it's government of numbers. So has it ever been practiced here in that manner?
Sure.
So even before the final day of the US election, we saw on the 5th of this month, that's on Tuesday, we saw that over 66 million US has already voted by post.
Yes.
I mean,
nobody tampered with it.
Everything went where? You just saying it. and it gets to the record
days before the official day of the
and you see that even their citizens here, they voted. But why is it that 25 years of democracy, Nigerians abroad cannot still vote?
I don't know why.
Really, I mean, why, Esther, if you say you are a political person?
I don't know why.
The politicians here know too well that the number of Nigerians in diaspora can swing the vote, the result of the vote here in Nigeria.
And they don't want that.
They don't want it.
They can't manipulate
You can't manipulate these guys. You can't manipulate them. They will vote according to their conscience.
Are you sure they can't manipulate it?
No.
If I thought they want to do it like, you mean just like how the glitch happened?
No. I can manipulate it, but these guys will vote their conscience. That's what I'm saying.
Even if they vote their conscience, the manipulation can still happen.
But Esther, but you know, this manipulation of a thing is something that we are still preaching against, that it must go. But you let these guys be part of the electoral system in their own country, because they play a lot of role. When you are talking about 20-something billion remittance from them, and they are not part of the governance in their country, it looks like they are strategized, deliberately. So this is what we are telling the Nigerians. Why don't you copy these good things that you see over there and also replicate it here?
And we say that INEC has not advocated for that to be part of the act, the INEC Electoral Act
for diaspora voting.
Yes, for diaspora voting.
They will tell you that we are still working on it, that we still have a nascent democracy. I don't know, a 25 years old child is still being spoon-fed. It's a big question.
If it's difficult for them to find a way around it,
it's not difficult.
Why don't they outsource
Kenya, ordinary Kenya, I mean, as little as Kenya is doing it. Is Kenya bigger than Nigeria, or are they more advanced than us? So why can't South Africa is doing it? Why can't we also say, okay, if these people can get it right within us here, then we should also be able to see how we can even borrow from them. Remember, by this December, I think December 7th or thereabout, Ghana will be having their election too.
Exactly.
And so we also have to look into how the Ghanaian election is going to come out. We are still going to analyze it here in this studio, Esther. How the Ghanaian election, you will not see here all the shenanigans that surround Nigeria election, surrounding Ghanaian's election. So we have a lot to go in this nation. But it is not yet over until it is over. We still have time to tell the National Assembly to visit Electoral Act of 2022, where all these things that have never been beneficial to us, swearing in a candidate, elected person before you go to court.
If there was going to be part of the process, I think you should have started by now, because I don't know how active the National Assembly seems when it comes to things that have to do with the people. They're basically more into what the executive wants. That's what they drive and promote, other than other things that really has to do with the immediate concerns of the people.
Of Nigerians.
So it's another ball game entirely.
But we are supposed to be the persons, Nigerians, that will urge them. In whatever form.
There have been several petitions written to that effect, which has become moribund.
Esther, there are some ways. Petitions are part of it.
Petitions from individuals, petitions from firms. Serap has also done that on several occasions.
Serap is just one organization.
But if you keep on writing something and they're not paying any attention,
Nigerians should begin to think of how to occupy National Assembly. Yes, protests should be happening at the gate of National Assembly daily.
Mr. Elvis, protest is haram.
It's haram, but the Constitution did not say it's haram. But you see the way they are now coming back, shamefully. So now begin to release these boys now, because he has brought a lot of disgrace.
I know why I said it too, because you don't say you're advocating for protest on this platform. You cannot advocate for protest, so it's treason,
It cannot be taken away from the Constitution, because the present president we have got to where he is today by protest. He led so many protests, even against the military and even against the civilian government.
Have forgotten. Amnesia can happen at any point in time.
If it is happening to Nigerians, I think we have to get to the hospital and get ourselves debriefed of. Which hospital?
Which of the hospitals? The ones that are properly equipped. Or which one? The one that are just giving only Panadol?
Esther, my governor, I just commissioned one in Edo State. If I refurbished Stella Obasanjo, I can go back and get myself. Yes,
okay.
So that I can think well. Because we just have to remind them, why are they there? They are supposed to serve the will of the people who elected them. So if they are not doing our bidding, we have to be at the gate of the National Assembly to continue to remind them daily. Because we need this electoral act to be rejigged. Some of those things that worked against 2023 general election must not repeat itself in 2027 general election again. Otherwise, if you make one mistake and begin to repeat the same mistake and thinking of moving forward, you are not doing anything. It looks like, are we lunatics? We are not madmen here. So we must have to let them know that we need these things done.
All right. Now, you know that IPOB Biafrans have been agitating for their countries, right, to self-determination and all of that. Well, the president-elect, the American president-elect chief of staff,
45 and 47th president.
Yes, exactly. Her name is Susie Wiles. Yeah. Apparently, she had a firm called Mercury, known for its connections to political figures. This was way before now, since 2019 or thereabout. And she has represented the interest of IPOB. They call them a separatist movement from Southeast Nigeria. Apparently, IPOB's contract with Mercury, signed in 2019, involved lobbying the U.S. Congress and State Department for the promotion of human rights and democracy in Nigeria, with an engagement reportedly costing $85,000 per month and almost 200 and something thousand. Now, their lobbying ties to Mercury have fueled hopes among some Biafran supporters who view Trump's victory as an encouraging signal for their independence movement. Now, following Trump's election win, activists, Biafran activists, they've all expressed optimism that the US would support their cause. Okay, and a couple of people feel that IPOB has had a long-standing affinity with Trump and his policies. In 2020, reports indicated that Nnamdi Kanu, that's IPOB's leader, was invited as a guest to a Trump campaign rally in Iowa, and the movement has often drawn parallels between their, separatist aspirations and other independence movements around the world. And now that Trump supposedly seems to have won, let me not use, because they're still calculating the votes, but I heard that it's almost over, and as it seems Trump is actually leading. So obviously he's a president-elect. He has given his win speech. So there is a renewed enthusiasm amongst Biafran supporters following his victory, it borders around a broader sense of support for self-determination that IPOB hopes to gain internationally. But is it possible, though, with all of the whatever, is it something that is achievable?
Esther, there is a popular saying that charity begins at home.
Okay.
Yeah, if whether it's going to fly or not, IPOB at home, let me just say the political bourgeois in the Southeast are not buying into this idea of IPOB.
Okay.
Yes. So whatever.
Reiterate that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me expatiate further on that.
Yes.
If you listen to the governors of the Southeast, they keep talking about there's no division in Nigeria. Nigeria is one, and it continues to remain as one. If you listen to all the ministers from the Southeast, they say the same thing. If you listen to also the political figures, they also repeat the same thing, probably because they are close to the government and they are benefiting from the government. Then, if these people are not buying the same idea of so many Southeasterners that they need IPOB to work for them to get their own independent country, it will be difficult.
Okay.
For any other external body to come in and say, okay, we want to, give you freedom. It's been happening in so many countries, and it has never worked, like that. Because some crisis, we still have, there's even one in Spain, I've forgotten the name, even as civilized as there's also one breakaway part of Spain that I forgot, maybe I'll remember. It has not worked, and you see how many years it took South Sudan for them to, be able to get out of South Sudan. 2011 they got their independence. Here we are today. So if the back home, everybody in the Southeast is seeing this as, this is an anomaly to us and we must get it, it would have a little bit be easier. Again, in our constitution, I don't think they said there is no referendum for such things. And if any external country is coming to help, or United Nations or whatever, they will have to talk of, okay, let us go to the referendum for them to see whether these people will actually vote in favor of we want to break away or we want to remain in the same country. If all these ones are not in the constitution, that's why I'm telling you the political figures. If all these ones are not, have you seen any of the elected legislator from the South it has ever move a motion that a bill, let me sponsor a bill that let referendum be part of our constitution? None of them have done that. So when they get into the house, they feel comfortable because they are not part of the system. All the noise they made when they were outside was for them to get into the system, to be recognized and get into the system. As soon as they get in there, You know all the
just
pecs.
like some Labour Party
Yes,
lawmakers.
all the pecs.
But Mr. Elvis, my issue is the realism of all this. If since 2019 they had actually gotten her, service in terms of her helping to lobby politically, in the White House and all of that for the sovereign establishment of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu was invited as well to be part of, attending Trump's campaign in Iowa. There's been this perception or attitude towards West Africa, that Trump had or has. That was when he was the president way back in 2017, thereabout, when Muhammadu Buhari went to visit him. Now that there's a lot of challenges that the U.S. is grappling with, because there's a lot they want to deal with, how do you think that a chief of staff will promulgate this, will pursue this cause? That's one. Two, don't you think that the present Nigerian government would truncate it? I recall, because I think Simon Ekpa at one point in time wanted to present this particular Biafran agenda at the United Nations General Assembly, and he came to say that the Nigerian government had already written to say they are not recognized as something, which actually truncated that effort. So how do we know that the Nigerian government has not already, done what you call seal and done? That conversation cannot come up again. Secondly, Susan Wiles has a lot on her table as a president-elect chief of staff. Would she even pay attention to something like that?
Esther, Susan has a lot to do. She's a very smart politician. You see how she has been able to, work with Trump in this election for Trump to come back, especially Florida, how she was able to work in Florida so well with Trump. That's a plus for her political, versatility. That's good for her. Again, you've mentioned some of them. This very Trump's second coming is so loaded, Esther. The world has gone so much devastated even within these 4 years.
Yes, with Joe Biden.
Yes, we have the Ukraine-Russia war. You know how much American government has spent on that war? Do you know how much? Practically everything that is spent on that war in Ukraine is actually a very chunk percentage of it is coming from the US. Then that one is hanging. You see the Israeli war now and Palestinian war that is going on now. America has interest in it so much. America has so much interest about Iran sponsoring terrorism within the Middle East. And now America must make sure that war, whether we like it or not, come to an end soonest or thereabout, because they are also spending. And the war has also escalated into Lebanon.
Which will cause several protests in their cities, because they felt they were using taxpayers' money to actually sponsor the
United Nations General Assembly that just took place in New York. They were there protesting that this America has so expanded its arm into so many other countries and is telling on the economy, and these are taxpayers' money that is being expended to take care of other people's political crisis. So I think Trump may want to work on the way of looking for resolution, amicable dialogue, amicable resolution.
Obviously, that Trump has a good relationship with Israel.
No, yeah, absolutely. He was the one that removed the headquarters from Tel Aviv during his tenure to Jerusalem. That's a big one for him. Now, we're talking about Nigeria issues in how he's going to handle this matter. The government may be close to Nnamdi Kanu. Who is still incarcerated. What I should first of all want them to do, since they are the one that is controlling the economy of Nigeria, America has this government. Yes,
they are the ones controlling.
IMF and World Bank is what is.
But IMF has denounced it.
No. They will do that now at our level. They will come out. But you and I know this thing now. Telling them to remove fuel subsidy and that they cannot continue to subsidize fuel, and look at where I brought Nigeria to today. So how do they separate themselves from such? Since they are close to this government, and since this government have already started doing their bidding, the Binance chief executive that was arrested and they charged to court, and they told us that he was part of those that was making the naira and dollar
of the naira
to be like a epileptic patient. Today is collapsing, tomorrow it go national grid too. So now, the guy has been released and he has gone back home, reunited with his family, and all the charges quashed. and we heard that Biden called president, it became news. Called our president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that Biden called him, it became news. But remember, these are supposed to be sovereign nations. President to president supposed not to be like it's too celebrated. But when American president called our president, it's celebration here. It made headline news. So with all these ones, Esther, I also want them that the same way we release the Binance executive, they should also use the same way to talk to President Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu. Do you understand? As soon as it comes in.
Ohanaeze Ndigbo is actually alleging that it is deliberate that the Southeast governors do not want him released.
No, that's what I told you earlier. Now that
because they're saying that with their resolve is that they're addressing the glaring dereliction of duty exhibited by Southeast governors in their abject failure to secure the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and that the negligence is not an oversight, that it's deliberate. What do they intend to gain, though, in that manner, in that regard, in derelicting, as Ohanaeze is actually stipulating? Because if at all any further conversation will go on from here, it has to start off with his release. The Southeast, as we know, is already a hotbed of insecurity. Economic development is stifled there. Infrastructural development too is still grasping. Education behind, and then there are no job opportunities for the young persons there.
Even young youths are running out of the
exactly. So in that regard, what is the government's effort to ensure that's at least, let's try that method and then see how things will develop there? But what would the Southeast governors be gaining from that?
They are gaining because they want to entrench their political stance. These people, what is causing problem in Rivers? He said my structure must not be destroyed.
Would you want their political stance?
Yes.
How?
Oh, Esther, it's so much. You see, let me mention the former governor of Ebonyi State.
Okay.
He just left. He just dropped the governorship seat. He became a senator. From there, he was pulled out to become a minister. Do you understand? It's still flowing for him. I remember he was deputy governor to Martin Eleche before he became governor for 8 years.
Okay.
Then before he now became senator down to minister. These are political structures. They see anybody coming in. Nnamdi Kanu is released today. Okay. They know he has a large follower.
And so
Nnamdi Kanu can change the political trajectory of the Southeast.
To the detriment of their people.
Oh my God.
They would keep him continuously incarcerated to the detriment of their people.
Nigerian politicians don't come to tell you the truth. They may come to the radio and television and tell you that we are meeting the president for the president to release him and all that. Forget about it. These are just political snacks. We have heard of all these things so much. If truly they want Nnamdi Kanu to be released, they know what to do. We have seen Dasuki released in this nation.
And we've not even heard them.
We have seen Sunday Igboho released. Any charges following all these ones any longer?
The case of Sunday Igboho is different. That Sunday Igboho never advocated for Aso Rock to be occupied, for buildings to be burnt, for people's properties to be destroyed, or for persons to be killed. That he never advocated that. So his own case cannot be compared to that of Nnamdi Kanu. Why don't you release him?
This man has said if he's released today, all the insecurity that is going on in the Southeast will be quelled. Why don't you give him a trial? Okay, why don't you release him even to the Ohanaeze themselves? Okay, like these are like the godfathers of the Southeast. Okay, we are releasing. We are not even going to align this one with the politicians anymore because politicians have disappointed us so much. Okay, let Ohanaeze come and take charge. You see, even before Obiazo, the former Ohanaeze leader, died, he started this matter. Chief Iwanyawo again came in and started this matter, and he died in it. Has not ended. We are looking at the next one that is coming in. So if the governors, the political buziers, have joined the Ohanaeze to actually say, please, President, do this for us. Do this for us. They have even started making inroads into the Southeast now. At least they have 2 states now in the Southeast. They are making inroads. But
so Alex Oti recently told us that Nnamdi Kanu will soon be released. We don't know where that is coming from. That is the only governor that has said something that is positive in that regard. But we don't know what conditions have been laid to that. We've not heard other Southeast governors corroborate that, which is something that, and a couple of the Ohanaeze Ndigbo will feel that this is not the first time they've been hearing such placatory words as to his release. So how are they? That's how are they sure to trust? Alex Oti in that remark.
The trust is not going to be too genuine at this time around because we have heard. So we heard at the time when Professor Soludo was actually going to Aso Rock and also talking about releasing Nnamdi Kanu and all that. It has not worked. But you see, Esther, I keep on telling you that if there is any part of Nigeria that ought to not to even have issues, it's supposed to be the Southeast. They are very homogeneous.
Okay.
Have almost the same culture, the same language. Why don't all of them, come together under the umbrella of Ohanaeze Ndigbo themselves and the political big wigs over there, and speak the truth to themselves? And this is our son. Let us actually meet the president. No matter the condition, let him first of all be released. Then the condition can be worked on. Okay. You understand? Right. If this man is actually released today, and we see that the security in the southeast has come down, is it not going to be a plus to everybody? Even then, the politicians will be happy that so much has been achieved within.
I'm sure a couple of people will be wondering why we keep on talking about this. It's not like anyone is advocating for anybody, but if there's a particular region that seems, I don't know, literally cut off from development, and it feels like it's a conspiracy, and this conspiracy is what needs to be cleared. Ohanaeze is saying that Nnamdi Kanu's continued imprisonment is not solely a product of local politics, but is compounded by an insidious international conspiracy supported by certain local interests that are hell-bent on silencing dissent. It's incumbent upon each and every member of Ohanaeze Ndigbo to reflect on the painful reality. So the question is, based on what he said, who are these insidious international persons who intend to have him incarcerated? We can understand that locally that's the plan, but these ones internationally, what did they stand to gain? This man has dual citizenship, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So obviously you would think that these international allies will be in support of him and his agenda. So what did they stand to gain if that's the case?
Then you also have to look at even the country has that dual citizenship, how sincerely involved in this matter they are.
Okay.
Yeah. The British government is also culpable in this matter.
So are we saying that there's a possibility that the British government intends for him to continue to remain incarcerated?
They will not want anybody that will come and destabilize the political system of Nigeria. That's why they are looking at Nnamdi Kanu. So they will align with the government. It is only the southeastern people that will be able to stand their ground. Haven't happened to some other part of Nigerians that people, who purportedly the crime they said they committed, some other persons have committed in some other crime in Nigeria and they've been released. Also use such, to buy this, get the government buying into their policies and their ideas to release him. But do you know what the discussion that goes on behind door between the government so far, Nigeria government and the British government? Well, nobody knows about that. Then even this one that we are calling America in now, because we just said Susan has just been made the chief of staff to the president. She can't fight the battle alone.
That's why I asked, what's the reality of this? The fact that they're all jubilating based on, a relationship that was had way back in 2019 with one of her firms. How do we know about this time? There are a lot of pressing issues that I have to deal with in the United States of America. How would they pay attention? It's a different thing if Nnamdi Kanu was already released. But the fact that he's incarcerated, so the dialogue should be about how to secure his release first before you're now agitating for whatever it is.
There should be after he's released, then there should be a roundtable discussion.
So that's the thing. So are we saying that no southeastern governor has ever gone to see how they can solicit his release, possibly to the president or to the attorney general of the federation?
Some of them have gone. We have seen them on official level, but we don't know how in depth they have. Yeah, we've seen them. We even see some of them visiting in the DSS or whatever, but how genuine and how is the federal government also responding to it? You see, the insecurity again that has come over there, federal government is looking at it that if you are actually fighting the cause for your people, why are some other persons hijacking it and killing the same people that you said you want to give freedom to? Look at what happened in the bomb blast that happened in Olu
on Tuesday. I was shocked.
Where are all this coming from?
Exactly.
Who are the people who are the victims of all this? Are they not the same Southeasterners?
Mr. Elvis, have you gone to Imo State recently? Because I don't even know where these people are. The place is almost barren. Young persons are not there.
Businesses are not
who are these persons?
That's it.
That's because when I heard of that, I was like, an IED to terminate who?
To terminate who? The same people you purportedly are fighting for their independence and these are people that you think they have been so victimized, so marginalized. Then and now you are still threatening them. This is where the matter is hanging. And so these ones have to be solved internally. Ohanaeze and all the political bigwigs have to come and look at this sincerely. Again, are the Southeasterners happy with their leaders? some of the states
they're obviously not.
They are not. Some of the states, some of the Southeasterners, I see some of the states hijacked. They are not doing what they expected. They are not. Some of them are not even the rightful people they voted. They just like conscripted them, and so this is going to be your governor, whether they like it or not. These are also some of the things that are causing anger. You understand? So all these ones have to be, sorted out. That's why we are calling on, let the electoral system be transparent. If actually you go and vote, you vote your conscience, and the person you voted is the person that actually come to power and is declared winner and is on seat, to maintain peace will be very easy. The people will join him and say we need peace.
Ohaneze is giving some factors to achieve this. One of the factors revealed that is mobilize international influence, that he must urgently engage President-elect Donald Trump, urging him to exert pressure on Britain's Prime Minister and President Tinubu, as Kanu was once a vocal supporter of Trump, that this connection must not be overlooked in the quest for justice. The second one, they said, is to strengthen alliances with traditional leaders. Immediate outreach to both the Oba of Lagos and the Sultan of Sokoto is essential, that these influential figures could serve as critical mediators and advocates, facilitating urgent dialogue. I don't think this is going to be possible if you're on X and you see the tribal sentiment and all whatnot.
No, at that level, it will be possible.
Are you sure?
Yes. This leaders,
I'm coming. Okay. The third one, they're calling for ceasefire amongst the agitators. Yes, and they're saying that the Southeast governors have exhibited a disheartening reluctance to stand by Nnamdi Kanu. So many Igbo traditional rulers and clerics have alarmingly distanced themselves from this cause, and they must ask themselves, what exactly, why? Why are you distancing yourself from something that has to do with your favor? So these are the factors they ruled out to them achieving the accelerated release of Nnamdi Kanu. And do you think it's possible?
Yeah, if genuinely is fought, it's possible. Genuinely.
My issue is with the fact that they're forming alliances with traditional leaders. Have you seen the reaction on social media?
The traditional leaders actually have a role here. We are talking about somebody that can be like, I am releasing this guy, into your custody. I am releasing this guy based on the trustworthiness I have for people like you. You understand? So to be able to regulate whatever. I mean, Israeli is also going to cause some issues. In the midst of being joyous and all that, some people come up and say they want to hijack it. So these are some of the reasons. The traditional leaders are necessary, because if there is peace in Southeast, all the military that are dumped there now, looking for ESN and all that, can be used somewhere. Even the resources can be used somewhere. Look, you see what you read out in your prologue concerning the new Lakurawa that just came into Nigeria. I mean, that's this crisis have not been too hot in Sokoto and Kebbi before now, but these ones have just come in now.
They've killed 15 people.
Which means that those two states now is going to be like what we have in Borno and Zamfara and all that. So if Southeast is freed, more military cannot be deployed here. More resources cannot be deployed.
Because these are freed.
Is freed.
The military that they have kept in
over
the Southeast can be redeployed to those areas.
They deploy because you even have more checkpoints in the Southeast than any other part of Nigeria. And these military checkpoints are manned by military men. And these are supposed to be military that are supposed to fight external aggressors. Like this Lakurana, they said they came in from Niger Republic. These are people these are people that the military shall be used to repair them back. But now they are not doing the job of policemen right there in the Southeast. So the traditional rulers have to work together to even make peace reign. At least if peace reign in Southeast, why the peace can also be extended to other part of Nigeria. The formula that was used in the Southeast, why don't we also say, okay, if it works there, let us also use it in another part of Nigeria that's boiled. Is there how many states out of 36 states? I don't think we have up to 2 or 3 states that would not have military operations in this nation as it is now, doing the job of police, simply because the police can no longer do their job as expected. So you see, the stress is too much on Nigeria Army. This one that just came now, this Lakura that just came now. In fact, the Nigeria Army is just trying to find a way to see how they can, start curtailing the activities. Remember, we have ISWAP, in Nigeria.
Exactly.
We have Boko Haram. We have this Lakurawa that
and
just
now
came
we're hearing that
and
Iran may actually be involved in this.
No. The have you not thought about the finances?
I saw the video. I saw the video.
Yes.
I sent it to. I wish
That's the problem.
The YouTube guy could actually have downloaded it and put it there. I saw the weaponry these men had.
Yes.
And they were offering the youth in that community 1 million naira.
In this present Nigeria,
where are
with
they
this
getting
kind of
the money
economy
from?
strong. Yes. We have 1 million naira in Nigeria, Esther. Even you and I in the studio this evening. I will not go to jump at it, if not because of our
1 million
our level of civilization.
Where did they get that money from?
Then the children at the street who are without who doesn't have government presence in their life, and they're hearing 1 million naira, they'll run at it.
That's the plan. That was what they used to induce them.
Yeah, they have already seen our weak point. They've already seen where the government have failed in our lives, so they come in through that man.
One of the fulcrum or one of the preachings for them is that Western civilization is haram.
Yes,
they also
that's
said
what Boko Haram is also preaching.
Exactly. Basically almost the same thing with Boko Haram, and that democracy is not it. That where has it led them? How has it helped them?
It's easy for them to say because most part of those part of Nigeria are on government space. They don't have presence of government. So anybody coming in to just sell this dummy to you, it's easy for you to buy into it because you are there. You have not seen electricity in your life. You've not seen good road. Just somebody is sick because for ordinary malaria, he dies inside the house because there is no good hospital. These children are on the street daily, fending for themselves. They don't even know anything about school. Then somebody is coming to tell them that democracy is a scam. Don't you think they will accept it? And coming with the language they understand best, and now throwing money at them again, say, okay, now our group will give you 1 million. How many Nigerians get 1 million in a year? How many Nigerians, working Nigerians, can talk of boast of 1 million naira in a year, Esther? Do you see where they are coming from? So they know where we have the nation this government have failed the nation, the citizens, using poverty. They've improvised us so much that we are so popularized with poverty that anybody that is dangling a little carrot on us now, with some nairas or whatever, we jump at it.
There are different angles through which to describe how this group of Lakurawa members, started perpetrating their mayhem. And there are 3 different angles, 3 details emerged on how the terror group settled in Sokoto with the help of local headsmen who were seeking protection from bandits. That's another angle. Because the military is telling us that these individuals came from Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. And it was when Nigeria had the rift with these guys, that was when that vacuum allowed them to gain entrance into territory and set up base. But they said that after the Nigerian military actually warned them, this is what actually happened. They said on December 16, 2018, a resident received a call from Ibrahim Bello, the then director of the Department of State Services in Sokoto. Bello informed him about a group of armed militants occupying the forest. This was in 2018, who were receiving support from the local governor then, Aminu Tambuwal, to help security forces drive them out. That's why I said there are 3 angles to this. We're hearing different reports. The group allegedly from Algeria and Mali established a community following strict Islamic rules, banning smoking, drinking, and other non-conforming behaviors. They enforced tax payments on herdsmen with large cattle populations as mandated by Islamic teachings. Now, apparently, their base is in the dense Gongono forests, which gives the group access to key routes between Nigeria and Niger, which may help them stay hidden and operate in secrecy. Maybe that's why the military did not know anything about them way back then. Now, the group's tactics, their violent tactics, were first witnessed in their attack on Bale District's traditional leader. Can you remember that traditional leader that was killed? Whom they killed after a dispute with his son. This marked the beginning of a series of attacks and strict controls on local villages. Now, in a recent motion, the National Assembly member Sani Yakubu urged the government to increase security in the area. He warned that Lakurawa fighters, joined by other bandits, were making life impossible for farmers. So you're hearing now this angle. The Nigerian DHQ told us that these were guys from Mali, Burkina Faso, whatever, and these community members are telling us that these were guys entrenched by headsmen to help protect their cattle from bandits. Now we're also hearing that these are guys who come from Algeria, Mali, deployed by the then governor. So exactly, if we have this conflicting reports, it's obvious that before the Nigerian military eventually agreed that these guys are existing, they knew before now.
That's to tell you the job.
So why were they not active?
Where is the job of the SSS here? Once they get this kind of reports, one would have expected that the SSS would go into it and investigate it properly. Now it has become a weak low now. It's already becoming a cancer because they have already started attacking now.
Yes, they
At
have.
that time, 2018, with good information around them and investigation, they could have easily been nipping the bud. But now they've gone wild. And again, they are telling us because there were some issues between Nigeria and Republic of Niger and all that, so they were able to stroll in through the border. If you even have issues with foreign countries, neighboring countries around you, is it not even when you are supposed to strengthen your border so much so that there will not be spillover of whatever coming in from those countries that you feel they are enemies? What was Nigeria immigration, Nigeria armed forces and all of them doing at that time? So the borders were left open because our president is the chairman of ECOWAS, and a coup happened in Niger.
But we heard that the borders were closed when that thing happened.
Esther, they will only come and use one stick to close the major road. You saw all the trailers and tankers that were lined up that were supposed to. You saw normal human beings suffered as a result of it because there were no goods going in and coming out of Nigeria going in and coming out. They only crossed the main road. The normal route these people pass is what happened to them? All those routes that these terrorists, stroll into this nation. What happened to them? They are not man.
Mr. Office, we need to take phone calls. My own question is, what is the agenda of this group? They obviously have money. So it's not a situation like the bandits or what do you call them, Boko Haram, that would kidnap and ask for ransom. They obviously have the money. So who are those financing these individuals? And what is their ultimate motive? Because it has created a lot of talks that this is an Islamization agenda. Some of the northern governors or some of the northern political elites are deeply involved in this. Will you involve such a thing that will annihilate your people and render your region barren?
It depends on your interest, Esther.
What is the interest? Because a couple of people feel that there are mineral resources in those areas. Whenever there are mineral resources, they deploy these guys to cause instability
so that their business can flourish for them.
So Esther, could this be
the interest there is one, you just mentioned the mineral resources, number one. Number two, religion. Yes. Do you know the motive they have towards the religion? Even look at Islam now. There are so many fashion of Islam now, that the one that you are practicing is not deep enough. See the new one this Lakura brought now.
Yes.
It's a different one. Then you are talking of Iran. Iran is the headquarter of Shiite group. One of the one Nigeria is still battling with the Ezazaki group in Nigeria here.
Yeah.
So Iran has been seen by the world as one of these financiers of terrorism in the world. That's why America has issues with Iran. That's why even the coming of Donald Trump now, they are already shaking over there that something might happen. America have been able to know that Iran is one of the sponsors of most of these ISIS and all these terrorists. They've hit them so well before now, Osama bin Laden and all that. So now, these countries that are financing this terrorism ought to be checked.
All right.
Yes, by the superpowers of the world. Because they will do more. Then if the interest of the local people, conforms with what they want, definitely it will fester. The interest of the local people is that the resources we have, we want to be manning it so that we can make more money. And our religion, we want to use it to, cage these people so that they will not know their left from right. These are interests of the local persons in those areas. So if these ones, and there's no government to come in to check it, if these ones are, easily, gotten by them, then this terrorism will fester there. How many years that have they stayed in Nigeria now that they started having some local government, to their kitty and now begin to unleash mayhem on Nigerians, where we have an established government. We have not been told that Nigeria is a banana republic.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, you just discover that the government is sitting in Abuja. They don't even care for the welfare of you and I. Nigerians that were killed, 15 of them that were killed in Kebbi that was just reported. What we heard at mass burial, it ends there. But these are family men. Ends there.
See, Mr. Elvis, they have to do something about these guys as soon as possible. We are not done with bandits. We are not done with which other one? Boko Haram. And now you're having Lakrowas. And the way it is with this group, they are self-financed.
I am afraid that Nigeria will not come and be like Somalia. And you see Somalia, you see what is happening even in the Democratic Republic of Congo. These are countries. You see what is happening even in Sudan.
Do you think our military is underwhelmed or overwhelmed. I don't even know how to phrase it. Because they've been asking for persons to come get into the military. That is for recruitment. People are not coming in.
Yes, now Esther.
People are not coming in.
Let's not shy away from it. The military is overwhelmed. Then 2, the war of these days is not only the manpower alone. You need technology. Do we have it? We are hearing that intercontinental ballistic missile, you send it to another country to be intercepted, and make them send one to Nigeria.
But all the financial opportunity, let's say the infusing of some amount of money to purchase gadgets and all of that to enable the Nigerian military.
Are they sincerely purchased?
Even the drones and the Tucano jets and all of that, all of those gadgets.
Tucano jet, has it not been silenced? Now, have you heard of it? When we paid billions of dollars to purchase Tucano jet, we were like, as soon as Tucano jet enters Nigeria, our insecurity problem is solved. Tucano jet have been in this country now over 2 years. Is it not worse?
So how will the government battle these guys? Because I don't even think they're asking for ransom. They obviously have money to give out.
No, they're not asking
for
ransom.
They have their weapons.
They are looking for more recruitment, to enlarge their community, to be able to begin to advance further, to now begin to claim territories.
That's why it becomes more dangerous. Intelligence that has listed names of financiers or sponsors of these guys. We have about 400 of them.
The one the UAE gave us during former President Buhari's regime, list of terrorism financiers in Nigeria. Have you heard of anything come out of it? That's why I told you that if the insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria is to be solved, everybody who is in the north knows what is going on. They have to be asked questions.
It's obviously shocking that to the detriment of their economy, to the detriment of their people, they will enable this.
They are no longer talking of economy. They are no longer talking of people. They are talking of myself and myself alone. These people that are doing this, they are too rich. Stupendously rich. They want to get out of Nigeria today, they can get out. Go to any country they need. They have the money. So what concerns them about the economy of the suffering masses? They look at the Amangeri on the street. Look at the children that were paraded last week in the court.
About 29 minors and others were adults.
Those are children who were just on the street because their government have actually neglected them.
Somebody even confirmed they give them as low as 100 naira to do all those things.
Even the flag, they said they held on, they were holding the Russia flag. They see it as fun. They don't even know what it means. Because these children don't know their left from right.
So you mean they couldn't investigate to trace the politicians who told these children to go do what they did? I thought that was going to be the process.
That was even what every Nigerian was talking about. We're looking at. Why are you looking at? You are looking at the system instead of you to treat the substance. Somebody bought the flag for them. Somebody told them enter the street with maybe 100 naira to 200 naira, or even ordinary buying food for them.
Yes.
The government knows these people. The government will not look at those ones, but they will now begin to look at the children who don't know their left from right and begin to embarrass them. Because the government have failed in their life ever since. If the government remove these children from the street, they would have been part of that protest. If these children have known their right, they are not on the street, they would have been picked up.
So are we saying that the northern governors are the ones, and the northern leaders are the ones responsible for the insecurity in the north? They're the ones responsible for the lack of education to the young persons there?
Esther, you should know that now.
No, I'm asking because if you go on X, and hear the criticism you would wonder what is going on with these politicians and northern elites that should know.
No, Esther.
Because they were tagging the North will remember. The North will remember. Is it the West or the Southwest that put your region in the state that it is? Why don't you call your politicians to order?
Before we used to talk of monolithic North. Oh, they speak with one voice. It's no longer so now. If so, the emirs would have come together and be able to quell the insecurity that have gone over a decade now over there in the North. They've not been able to do it. 2, we're talking of the political big wigs in the north. Have they not disappointed? Have they not failed them? These children are on the streets. One man is in Abuja, has billion, but his state has over 20. Northern state have over 15 million children on the street, not in school. What do you think in the next 5 years will be the job of these children?
They will become what we're saying right now. This is
why the 1 million naira now become an issue now, that you can easily use 1 million naira to sway somebody and say be part of us. Because in their life, do you know what 1 million means to them? Even average Nigeria now, 1 million naira, you know what it means. So if the political leaders in the north have neglected these children over the years, and they've been thinking about themselves and their family, what we are seeing is just a tipping in the iceberg. We are going to see more, Esther.
It will not be good.
It will not be good. But
the Nigerian security agencies do not act swift now.
Can we help it?
They're asking for the help of the people.
Yes.
I don't know how they want the people to help.
What help you? What do the people need more than during President Goodluck Jonathan's time? He built schools to remove Amanjeris from the street, so that both
grasses have grown there.
Both Islamic and Western education can be taught. What happened to those schools? The governors are in those states where those schools are built. The governors sank it, and it has not become. Some of them are even used as IDP camp now, internal displaced people's camp. Some of them are used. These are the things that I'm telling you that sincerely the northern leaders are part of this plague, insecurity plague that have ravaged that part of the north.
Mr. Elvis, how will Nigeria get out of all of these challenges if those are meant to take us out of it are the ones perpetrating it? It's so sad. If you say the case of Nnamdi Kanu is the southeastern governors that deliberately do it because of their own political gain. If you say the insecurity in the north is deliberate, allowed by the northern elites, by the northern politicians, even their traditional then when are we going to get out of all of this? We keep on blaming the presidency all the time. But there are some intricacies that are beyond one person.
You see, until we begin to speak truth to issues, until we begin to have leaders that can speak the truth. What happened to Emir Sanusi? That has just been brought back now. Because he was telling, this is not the way to go. Because he's one of those ones that are educated and is civilized. This is not the best way to go. They see him as an enemy to the government.
Exactly.
Until we start seeing many of such northerners coming to speak the truth. Nigeria in general, not just looking at when you put one person there as president, you're expecting that all the refuse in Nigeria is going to be the one that will pack it. We are going to join hands to pack it sincerely.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. How are you?
Hello, good evening, Esther Wachuku.
How are you, sir?
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. Happy Sunday.
Same to you.
God bless you. My name is Peter Usifu. I'm calling from Abuja in Ikosu.
All right, sir. You have a minute.
I've been listening to your discussion over there, which is very, very interesting. The major one which I want to speak on is the coming up new terrorist group in Northwest, especially in Sokoto and Kebbi State, where they have even reportedly said that they have killed about 15 people. It's unfortunate. In my own opinion, the terrorism in the north can only be eliminated by the northerners, the northern political elite, if they so wish. Not even the federal government. You understand? And if we don't leave this in the board, then that means any terrorist group can arise from any region, in fact from the 6 regions, because nobody has the monopoly of force of terrorism. That's what northerners should understand. And I believe they are using this to blackmail any government in power, which is very bad. So the federal government cannot do much on that.
All right. Thank you.
Finally, concerning the election in America, many people are comparing America to Nigeria. I mean, this is too quick for us to compare Nigeria and America. You understand? It took America about 200 years to develop their own democracy.
All right, Peter.
And moreover,
your 1 minute has been exhausted.
So our own is just about 24 or 25 years old.
All right, thank you. Hello, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. Wachuku.
Good evening, sir. Name and location, please.
Yeah. This is Nnamdi calling from Spain.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
Well, sir, I would advise Nigeria government. Okay, sorry. Mr. Visa, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother. Welcome.
Happy birthday, my brother. And
thank you
your
so
wife
much.
Too.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I really appreciate your analysis.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Esther,
sir,
Wachuku,
sir,
I would advise Nigeria government, if they are sincere that IPOB is prescribed, let them take that chief of staff to this thing to court for supporting terrorists. They should go to court, take that woman to court for supporting terrorists. If they are sincere that this thing is a terrorist group, then that is when I will take them serious. I'll let me hear tomorrow that they are taking that woman to this thing. Esther Wachuku,
sir,
on the insecurity in Assad East.
Yes.
Yesterday I tried to call Choma, but I don't know why she did not pick. Okay. They were talking of this Anambra.
Okay.
Anambra, this thing was started with Soludo. Soludo went this military were just stopping people. Even Soludo famous to the government when he took this thing. You see, his vice was going on the way. He saw how the military people were just harassing people. The vice, the assistant to Trudeau just harassed them. I said, no, this must stop. At the end of it, then we went back and to try to say, Trudeau said this people will remain there. The next thing, Trudeau other people to go to Ihiala and the bombing people. Said they are this terroristic group, a village, saying that there is this non-government. That is why this thing is. Sir? One other thing you do is another thing I want to hit on your side. It's like you just stop bringing this analyst and they just analyze. Just open the line to give us the headlines so that we'll just call and you analyze it for us.
All right. Okay.
You just try to bring that IPOB just bomb this thing, it's bomb house, all these things. Just I don't expect that from you, but no problem. There's no problem. Have a great day. No, he said that they are bombing houses. They are just terrorizing this thing.
Who? You didn't listen. No, I didn't say they were the ones. I said these are the reports coming from there. It happened on Tuesday. Didn't you hear it? It's the Nigerian police that termed it ESN. It's the Nigerian police. I have to give.
No.
Okay.
Please be listening.
Okay, very sorry about that.
Okay.
This guy came to Nigeria. The mother lost his life. Her life. The father. The people lost their life. This guy just don't have no report.
We need to take more calls.
Yes, no problem. I'm sorry for.
Thank you so much. Hello, good evening.
Hello,
good evening.
Yes,
how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm fine. Happy Sunday to
Same
you.
to you, sir. Name and location, please.
Yes, this is Mr. Monday from Agege. I'm greeting all your guests.
Good evening,
Mr. Monday, it's been a long time. Go ahead.
Yes, so you are not picking my call now.
Sorry.
Last week you are quarreling with Peter Osifo. I call it. You did not pick my call. I said no
didn't quarrel
problem.
with Peter, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, you see that your brother that just spoke well. He spoke well, but everybody is his own opinion.
Yes.
The problem with the Southeast, as one of your analysts said, how wish they can come together and unite and have one voice and one mouth. Honestly, the thing that we are looking for so many years happen. That is what is causing serious chaos and serious problem in the Southeast. And you know that they can come in. That's why they are coming in and be dividing them, causing so much insecurity there, causing so much problem in that insecurity in the Southeast. Honestly, I'm not being biased or tackling anybody because everybody, in my own opinion, some people can counter it.
Okay.
Because the problem there, like I said, I wish they can come together and have one voice and they will stand and bring out, like Nnamdi Kanu, for instance.
Thank you. Your minute has been exhausted. I need to take more calls. Our time is limited. Thank you so much. Thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. And the WhatsApp number is 0817 1756 338. Hello, good evening. Good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name, please, and location?
Good evening, sir.
Anonymous.
No, please, sir. You have to tell us your name. It's important.
All right. My name is Mr.
Mr. What?
Keep it civil.
All right. Okay, sir. The place you are is very noisy. Kindly call us back when you get to a place that we can hear what you're saying. The background noise is distracting. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Elvis.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, the last name I think Esther always knows how to pronounce it.
Eli Mihele. Mr. Elvis Eli Mihele. What's your name, please, and location?
It's Tony Chukwode. Esther, I just had you say something in Igbo language. I thought you always speak Hausa.
I schooled in the north, so yes, I can speak Hausa. It doesn't mean I cannot speak Igbo. But go ahead, please.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You see, I just came back from Nigeria this morning.
Wow,
now,
amazing.
what I'm trying to say is this. Can the governors in the southeast, please, is a big please. Anyone can beg them. Let them stop this inhuman treatment they are treating our people. When you see an Okada coming near a police roadblock.
Okay.
Everybody has to come down and then walk the rest of it with their leg. And then another one, when you get to Oka, trying to go to the old road, link Oka and Enugu, you need to see the traffic that was there on Friday evening because the policemen stationed themselves almost 500 meters apart from each other, collecting money. And it was dreadlock with tankers loaded with live products.
Jeez.
So if anything happens there, I was there. So it's not something I just came back this morning as I said. I was there, and all these things are happening. You don't see all these things when you go in the north. People coming from them will tell you they don't see all these things, even from the southwest. So why are they doing this to southeastern people? You see, these are the reasons that people are not happy in the southeast. You see an old elderly woman, you tell the elder to come down from the Okada or from Keke, and they have to walk and cross the police. And the issue of when you see the police, they will tell you don't answer your call if you're on call. I can't understand what telephone has to do with the policeman.
All right, sir. Your 1 minute has been exhausted. Thank you so much. We need to take other
Thank you.
calls. All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you? Hello. Hello. All right, kindly call us back at 0700 903 903 903. That's the number. Let me read out some WhatsApp messages. Good evening, Esther Wachiku, Solomon Asika from Mushin. All I know is terrorism is a business and it's a commercial enterprise, and there are sponsors behind it, of which UAE has done their best to give us names of those sponsors. All that's left now is for a willing and responsible government to go after those behind it. In the southeast, they are known as unknown gunmen. All right, thank you for that, Asika. Good evening, Madam Esther. What I want to say, no politician from the eastern region of Nigeria will talk about Biafra because they are there for their selfish interests, because they know when Biafra comes, the eastern political elite cannot have access to Biafran government, if they like it or not. Okay. Thank you very much for that. You are asking who is financing the new terrorist group. Have you checked those in the list of that 400 names of the sponsors given to Nigeria? Amobi from 7 and 8. Thank you so much, Amobi. Esther. This won't come anywhere. Are you surprised about Israel linking Iran to FFK? Go look for the show recording called Borderlines with Ireti Bakri Yusuf on April 12, 2024 and November 8, 2024. In the former, after she interviewed the finished Hamas leader, she didn't hide her bias when it came to the turn of the Israeli ambassador, as her questions were hostile, interrogation, and prejudiced, like she was a spokeslady for Hamas. To make matters worse, her FFK made some extremist statements on the show, saying he doesn't feel sorry about the attack on Israel, and if he was a Palestinian, he would join Hamas. I'm glad with the current statement from the Israeli about FFK. I knew this day would come, and I believe all sponsors and spokespersons of terrorists should be taken out. That radio station has turned themselves into a pro-Hamas support media. No Nigerian media should be seen to be supporting a terrorist group like Hamas, as they wouldn't be different as sponsors of terrorist groups in Nigeria. I think this was an interview that was had about 2 days ago. Nigeria Info.
It was a forum.
It was like a debate. Debate. Where he aired his views.
Advertised it for so much.
Yes.
On the 7th and on the 8th.
That's true. Okay. Good evening, Esther and guests. Congratulations to Donald Trump. You can see elections in Kenya, Liberia, Senegal, South Africa, UK, and America were free and fair and credible. There was no vote buying, Agbari intimidation, snatching of boxes, technical glitch, no cash and carry INEC and judiciary or police conspiracy. You ask, where is INEC chairman to monitor and observe these elections? What will he say concerning these elections compared with the one you did here? Where is that fraud? Where is what fraudulent? In which EU observers, the Yaga Africa and other organizations can testify to. Now you ask, what is the essence of collecting money from government and other international bodies where you know that you will create a fraudulent election where all institutions are compromised just because of the ruling party who want to remain in power? It's a shame. The worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. All right. Thank you so much. I can only read that. Your messages are way long, so I will go to other ones. Good evening. Please, I have some questions. One, giving of money and food on election day to voters by political parties, is it wrong? If yes, why are culprits not being punished? Number 2, Nnamdi Kanu, can we say we practice democracy when court has freed and allowed him to go, but same government that freed Shaware, Igboho and other terrorists repented Boko Haram do not want to please kindly rephrase. I really don't understand what you wrote. Good evening, VOP. Igbos are not ready to release Kanu. Obasanjo was among the people that prompted release of Sunday Igboho. So Igbos, go and release Kanu. Stop blaming people for your ill activity. Gideon. All right, Gideon. Thank you so much for that. All right, Esther. Good evening, Esther. What you call the problems we are facing in this country concerning the issues of the security is religion. They come in the name of religion and Hausa or Fulani languages. Once anyone comes in with what regard, they will allow such people to enter the country without questioning the legality of such people. Also, about 80% of the northern regions are living in abject poverty, even when we see the majority of the Nigerian rulers came from the north, where they're supposed to improve the standard of living in the northern regions. So now, assuming many of the northern youths are educated, it will not be easy for the new bandits to persuade or convince them to their side with 1 million naira. Ife Dayo from Egbeda. Thank you, Ife Dayo. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. How are you? Oh, please kindly call back. I sincerely apologize. I needed to read out the WhatsApp messages. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good evening.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir. Name and location, please.
It's a difference calling.
All right, sir. You have a minute.
Yeah, sir. Concerning the insecurity, more especially in the north, all about the boundaries, which you people are talking about, have been documented, and the intelligence report about it has been handed over to the federal government. They don't want to do anything about it. Especially the soldiers you are talking about. The soldiers are trying their best. But listen, there is no city, there is no community, there is no state that the soldier will enter without the mutual collaboration of the citizens. They are all the statesmen, they are all the people within the community. Let me tell you the truth that there are some certain areas sometimes we do enter. The governors will tell you that they don't want us, or even the community at a large will be giving information even to the terrorists which they invited you to come and rescue on behalf of you. In fact, listen, let me just tell you, a lot is coming up to the extent that when it will reach, the federal government will not know what to do. The only escaping route we know now that is going on now is that they don't know how to fly jet. Neither they don't know how to drive a warship. If they know how to fly jet, Esther, I bet you they will enter into our international airport, they will enter into the cities and bomb up the city and nothing will happen. That is the only thing that is remaining for them now. And when that one reaches, they will capture us. And then we know actually what is going on in Nigeria. Thank you. I don't want to say much. If Nigeria, if federal government is ready to cover up this, they will do that in collaboration with the Northerners. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're saying that Nigeria is not ready to curb these guys?
There is no truth in terrorism that is going on in Nigeria, Esther. Look at what is going on in Zamfara. The present governor of Zamfara State, this young man, what's his name?
He has been calling them out.
He's been talking about Matawale, the former governor, that he knows much about the terrorism that is going on in Zamfara State. And you know how hot Zamfara State is today. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Fine. My name is Sokoto. I'm calling from Lagos.
All right, sir. You have a minute. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Please, our governors and our citizens, all of them, they know what is happening in the country. They don't want to do the right thing. So the governors in the north and the stakeholders, they know it. So if they truly want to stop, put this thing to stop, they know what to do. But it's just that the thing is getting out of hand. Because what they think that they wanted to do, not what they are doing. So they think that when they bring these people in, to overcome to and be overpowered. But these people come in and they overpower them. They are confused. That's what.
All right, thank you. Let me read some WhatsApp messages. Ajamoga Izuchuku says, "Good evening, Esther and the guests. Please, why do we at Lekki are not able to receive VOP? Please, your management should do something about it." All right, thank you so much. The engineer will be informed, and then they will check on the transmitter. I sincerely do apologize for that. Okay. The man in this, the Nigerian citizens don't know what is about to befall them. The regions are afraid of reform. Sylvester Iweri. All right, South, Southeast, and South should come together and discuss our faith. From Sylvester as well. Wow, for Aaron. Esther Wachiku, well done. Good work with your guest. God bless you from me, Elder Nwafo. What I want you all to know is whatever this APC federal government cabals against giving, I didn't understand what you wrote here. All right, it's hard for me to believe that the Southeast governors are the reason Kanu is still in detention, because federal government has the absolute powers. After all, the governors does not decide for FFG. All right, thank you so much for some of your messages. We need to wrap up the program right now. We sincerely do appreciate your calls and your messages. God bless you so much. For some of you that we couldn't read out your messages, I would say sincerely we do apologize. All right, but I think I was able to read out all the messages here. So thank you so much. Mr. Elvis, social media handle?
Yeah, Evie Selim Haley across all media.
All right.
Media,
yeah. Okay, Esther Wachiku across Esther was on Instagram, Esther Wachiku on X, and Estic Media on YouTube. That's ESTIQMEDIA. Say subscribe. All right, let's grow the family. You guys have an amazing Sunday. Bye for now. See you next week.